Taewon stood in the command center of New Seoul Station, watching Earth turn slowly below him. The blue and green planet looked peaceful in the morning light. He had no idea that in the next few minutes, everything would change forever. The communication console beeped 3 times. Soo-jin looked up from her screen with worry in her eyes. "Ambassador, we have an incoming message. It's not from Earth." "Put it through," Taewon said. The air in front of him shimmered. 3 alien faces appeared in the hologram. Taewon had seen pictures of these beings before, but never all 3 together. The crystalline Vorthak looked like living glass. The Nexari resembled a giant insect with too many eyes. The ethereal was just a cloud of glowing gas that somehow had a voice. "Greetings, human." The Vorthak spoke first. Its voice sounded like wind chimes in a storm. "I am Prime Minister Kethavar of the Galactic Council. We bring an important message for your species." Taewon kept his face calm. "I'm Ambassador Taewon of Earth. What can we do for you?" The 3 aliens looked at each other. The Nexari's mandibles clicked together before it spoke. "Your species has become a problem. You expand too fast, you fight too much, you do not follow the proper ways. We have watched you for 50 years, the ethereal added. Its voice was like whispers in an empty room. "You are dangerous, unpredictable, a threat to galactic peace." Taewon felt a cold weight in his stomach. "What exactly are you saying?" The Vorthak's crystal face showed no emotion. "The Galactic Council has made a decision. Your species will accept protective custody. You will give up all military ships and weapons. You will stop expanding to new worlds. You will do as we say." "And if we refuse?" Taewon asked, though he already knew the answer. "Then we will make you accept," the Nexari said. "We have 10,000 ships waiting. Your planet will be bombed from space. Your people will become slaves. Your choice is simple: surrender or die." The hologram showed a new image. Thousands of alien ships filled the space around a distant star. They were massive, each one larger than Earth's biggest city. Weapons ports glowed with deadly energy. Taewon had never seen so many warships in one place. "You have 72 hours, the Vorthak said. "Send your answer to these coordinates. Choose wisely, human." The hologram disappeared. The command center was silent, except for the hum of machines. Everyone stared at Taewon. Soo-jin was the first to speak. "Sir, what do we do?" Taewon walked to the viewing window. Earth still looked peaceful below, but he knew that was about to change. "Mira, are you recording everything?" The young communications officer nodded. "Yes, sir. Every word." "Good. Send copies to Earth Command, Mars Colony, and every human settlement. Make sure everyone knows what just happened." Taewon turned back to his crew. "Dong-ho, what's the status of our defense platforms?" Captain Dong-ho checked his screens. "All systems green, sir. But against 10,000 ships?" He didn't finish the sentence. "I know the odds," Taewon said. "But we're not just going to roll over and die." Soo-jin's console beeped again. "Sir, we're getting responses from Earth. They want to talk to you." "Tell them I'll talk later. First, I need to send our answer to the Council." Taewon sat down at the communication station. His hands were steady as he typed. The message was simple and direct. When he finished, he looked around the room. "Are you sure about this, sir?" Mira asked. Taewon smiled for the first time since the aliens had called. "Mira, my grandfather fought in the Korean War. My father served in the Navy. My brother died, defending the Mars colonies from pirates. Do you really think I'm going to be the first man in my family to surrender without a fight?" He pressed the send button. On screens across human space, the same message appeared. It was short, just 2 sentences, but it would be remembered forever. To the Galactic Council, "We have received your ultimatum. Our answer is no. If you want, Earth, come and take it." Within minutes, emergency broadcasts were going out to every human world. The message was the same everywhere. Earth was threatened. Humanity needed to stand together. On Mars, mining crews stopped their work to watch the news. In the asteroid belt, cargo ships changed course toward Earth. On the outer colonies, families gathered around their screens and listened to Taiwan's words again and again. Dong Ho was reading reports from across the solar system. Sir, you should see this. Ships are moving everywhere. Military, civilian, corporate fleets, they're all heading for Earth. How many? Taiwan asked. I've counted 500 so far, and more keep coming. Some of these ships left port before they even got official orders. Su Jin looked up from her console. Sir, I'm getting a message from the mining ship Lucky Strike. Captain says he's loading his cargo bay with explosives and heading this way. Tell him to be careful, Taiwan said. We'll need every ship we can get. Mira was monitoring council communications. The aliens are talking to each other. They sound confused. One of them said, Why are their ships moving toward the threat instead of away from it? Taiwan laughed. They don't understand us yet, but they will. Hours passed. Reports kept coming in. Human ships were gathering from every corner of known space. Old enemies were working together. Pirates were joining the defense. Corporate security fleets were sharing weapons with military units. Young Su's voice came over the communication system from Earth. Taiwan, this is Dr. Young Su at the research station. We're activating the special projects, all of them. Are you sure they're ready? Taiwan asked. Ready or not, we're going to find out. If these aliens want to fight, we'll give them one. They won't forget. As night fell over the Pacific, Taiwan stood at the viewing window again. Earth looked the same, but everything had changed. Humanity was preparing for war. Su Jin appeared beside him. Do you think we can win? Taiwan watched a squadron of fighters practice maneuvers around the station. I don't know if we can win, but I know we won't go quietly. The council made one big mistake. What's that? They threatened our home. There's nothing more dangerous than a human defending his family. Taiwan turned back to the command center. Now let's get ready to show them what that means. The countdown had begun. In 68 hours, the Galactic Council would arrive. Humanity would be waiting. The news traveled faster than the Council expected. Across human space, from the smallest mining station to the biggest colony world, people heard the same message. Earth was in danger. Admiral Ki Young stood in the war room deep under Seoul, staring at a holographic map of the solar system. Red dots showed human ships moving toward Earth. There were hundreds of them now, and more appeared every hour. Admiral, we have a problem, said Colonel Hae-won, walking into the room with a datapad in her hands. Only one? Ki Young asked with a tired smile. The civilians won't stay away. We told them to evacuate to the outer colonies, but they're doing the opposite. Family ships, cargo haulers, even tourist boats are heading for Earth. Ki Young studied the map. A civilian passenger liner was moving slowly toward the inner system. The Star of Busan, that's a cruise ship. What are they thinking? I talked to the captain, Hae-won said. He told me his grandfather lived through the Japanese occupation. His words were, "We don't run from bullies. We never have." Before Ki Young could answer, the door opened again. Dr. Young Su rushed in, looking excited and worried at the same time. Admiral, I need to talk to you about the hidden projects. What about them? Young Su activated a private hologram. We've been working on weapons systems that were never supposed to be used. Planet crackers, ship killers, things that could destroy entire fleets. Are they ready? Some of them. Others. We'll have to test them in battle. Ki Young nodded. Do it. If we're going to die, let's make it expensive for them. Across the solar system, other preparations were happening. On Mars, Captain Yoonji was talking to her squadron in the briefing room. 24 fighter pilots sat in front of her, all volunteers. The youngest was 19. The oldest was 55. Listen, up, Yoonji said. We all know the odds. 10,000 alien ships against everything we can put together. But here's what they don't know about us. She pressed a button. Images of human history appeared on the screen. Ancient battles, modern wars, people fighting against impossible odds. We've always been outnumbered. At Thermopylae, 300, Spartans held off an army. At Stalingrad, a city fought the entire German war machine. At the Battle of Chosin, Marines fought their way out of a trap in the frozen mountains. The pilots listened carefully. Some of them had heard these stories before. Others were learning them for the first time. The aliens think we'll break when we see their fleet. They think we'll surrender when the fighting gets hard. They're wrong. Yunji's voice was steady and strong. We're going to show them what humans do when someone threatens our home. The pilots cheered. Within an hour, they were in space, practicing attack runs on asteroid targets. In the asteroid belt, Commander Bo-Ram was doing something different. She was listening. Bo-Ram's ship, the Silent Hunter, was designed for intelligence work. It could hide among the asteroids and intercept alien communications. For 2 days she had been recording everything the Council fleet said to each other. "Computer, translate the last transmission," she said. The alien voices became words she could understand. "Commander Zethra, are you certain about human military strength?" one voice asked. "Absolutely. Our intelligence shows they have perhaps 200 military ships total, mostly small fighters and patrol boats. They cannot oppose us." "What about their defense systems?" "Minimal. A few orbital platforms around their homeworld, nothing that can threaten a proper battle fleet." Bo-Ram smiled in the darkness of her ship. The aliens had no idea what was coming. On Earth, things were moving fast. General Haiwan stood in the command center, watching reports come in from around the world. Hidden defense systems were powering up. Weapons that had been secret for decades were finally being revealed. "Status report," she said to her aide. "The orbital defense grid is online. All missile silos are loaded and ready. The railgun platforms are charging up. What about the special projects? Mount Everest base reports ready. The Australia facility is almost online. The deep ocean platforms are in position." Haiwan nodded. The Galactic Council thought they knew everything about human defenses. They were about to learn how wrong they were. Meanwhile, something unexpected was happening. Captain Dong Ho received a message that made him read it twice. "This can't be right." "What is it?" asked his second-in-command. "It's from the Crimson Brotherhood, the pirates." The Crimson Brotherhood was the largest pirate fleet in human space. For years they had fought against Earth's government. They stole cargo ships and raided colonies. Everyone hated them. What do they want? They're offering to help defend Earth. The message was simple. "We may be pirates, but we're human pirates. Point us toward the aliens." By the end of the day, even stranger alliances were forming. Corporate security fleets were sharing weapons with military units. Mining companies were giving their explosives to the defense force. Even criminal gangs were volunteering for dangerous missions. Su Jin was monitoring communications across human space. What she heard made her understand something important. "Admiral Ki Young, you need to hear this." She played a recording from a cargo ship captain. "My ship isn't much, but it's mine. Nobody tells me what to do with it, especially not some bug-eyed alien." Another voice from a colony world. "My children were born on this planet. It's their home. I'll die before I let aliens take it from them." A third voice from a military base. "We've been fighting each other for 50 years. Time to fight together." Ki Young listened to dozens of similar messages. Slowly, he began to understand what was happening. "They're not just defending Earth," he said. "They're defending the idea of being human." The Galactic Council had made a mistake. They thought humans were just another species that could be bullied into submission. They didn't understand that threatening Earth meant threatening everything humans believed in. As the second day ended, the count of ships approaching Earth had passed 1,000. Military vessels, civilian craft, corporate fleets, and even pirate ships were all moving toward the same place. Commander Bo-Ram intercepted another alien transmission. "Admiral, we have a problem. Human ships are moving in unusual patterns." "Explain." "Our intelligence said they would evacuate civilians and concentrate military forces. Instead, everything is moving toward the threat. It makes no strategic sense. Perhaps they are confused. Fear can cause irrational behavior." Bo-Ram laughed quietly. The aliens still didn't understand. Fear wasn't making humans run away. Fear was making them angry, and angry humans were the most dangerous thing in the galaxy. On Earth, families said goodbye to their loved ones. Soldiers checked their weapons one more time. Engineers worked around the clock to prepare defenses that had never been tested. But everywhere the message was the same. We will not surrender. We will not run. We will fight. The Galactic Council would arrive in 18 hours. They expected to find a broken, terrified world ready to give up. Instead, they would find humanity, at its most dangerous, united, determined, and ready for war. The Galactic Council fleet dropped out of hyperspace at exactly 0800 Earth Standard Time. 10,000 ships appeared in perfect formation, stretching across space like a deadly metal cloud. Admiral Ki Young watched from the bridge of the battleship, Seoul's Pride. Around him, his officers were quiet. Everyone knew what they were seeing. "My God," whispered Commander Jiwoo. "There are so many of them." Ki Young activated the fleet communication system. "All ships, this is Admiral Ki Young. Remember what we're fighting for. Remember who we're protecting. Today, we show the galaxy what humans are made of." The alien fleet began moving toward Earth. At the front was a massive Vorthak dreadnought, larger than a city. Its crystal hull gleamed in the sunlight. The alien admiral's voice filled space. "Human vessels, this is Admiral Kethmore of the Galactic Council. You are outmatched and outnumbered. Surrender now and your deaths will be quick." Ki Young smiled grimly. "Open a channel." "Channel open, sir." "Unknown vessels, this is Admiral Ki Young of the Earth Defense Force. You are trespassing in human space. Turn around and leave immediately or face the consequences." There was silence for a moment. Then alien laughter filled the communication channel. "You would threaten us? With your small fleet of primitive ships? You have perhaps 1,000 vessels. We have 10,000. You cannot win." "Maybe," Ki Young said, "but we can make you wish you'd never heard of Earth." The alien admiral's voice turned cold. "So be it. All ships open fire." The Council fleet fired first. Thousands of energy beams and missiles streaked toward the human defenders. The space around Earth lit up like a deadly fireworks show. But the humans were ready. Captain Dong Ho's defense platform had been hidden in the shadow of the moon. As the alien fleet approached, he revealed his secret weapon. Charging the railguns, he announced to his crew, "Target the lead dreadnought." The railguns were Young-Su's creation. They fired solid metal slugs at incredible speed. The aliens had energy shields, but the rails guns used pure kinetic force. Firing, 3 metal slugs, each the size of a car, slammed into the Vorthak dreadnought. The crystal hull cracked like an eggshell. The massive ship began to drift, its power systems failing. "First blood to us," Dong Ho shouted. The alien fleet hesitated. They had expected easy targets, not weapons that could destroy their biggest ships. Commander Jiwoo saw the opportunity. "All fighters, attack Formation Delta. Hit them while they're confused." The human fighter squadron was small, only 30, ships against thousands. But they didn't fight like the aliens expected. Instead of staying in formation, the fighters scattered. They used asteroids for cover. They attacked from unexpected angles. They worked together in ways that confused the alien computers. Lieutenant Kyung-Soo piloted his fighter through a cloud of debris. An alien cruiser was trying to target him, but he was too fast and too unpredictable. "I've got an idea," he said over the radio. "Cover me." His fighter was damaged, leaking fuel and barely able to fly. Instead of retreating, Kyung-Soo aimed straight at the alien ship. "Kyung-Soo, what are you doing?" Jiwoo demanded. "What humans do best," he replied. Something crazy. His fighter slammed into the alien cruiser's reactor chamber. The explosion lit up half the battlefield. The aliens were starting to panic. These humans didn't fight like any species they had encountered before. They were unpredictable, aggressive, and willing to die for victory. On Earth, Engineer So Young was watching the battle from a mining station. Her job was supposed to be safe, supporting the fleet from a distance. But when she saw alien landing craft heading for the planet, she had other ideas. "Computer, redirect all mining lasers to surface targets." Warning, mining lasers are not designed for combat use. Overloading may cause system failure. Do it anyway. The mining lasers were designed to cut through solid rock. When So Young overloaded them, they became deadly weapons. The alien landing craft had shields designed to stop energy weapons but not industrial cutting beams. 6 alien ships exploded before they could reach the atmosphere. Colonel Minho was commanding the ground-based defenses. Hidden missile sites across Earth opened fire at the same time. The aliens had known about some of them, but not all. "Fire everything," Minho ordered. Hundreds of missiles rose from Earth's surface. Some were intercepted by alien defenses, but many got through. The Nexari ships buzzed angrily as explosions damaged their hulls. The battle was chaos. Human ships attacked from every direction. They used tactics that made no sense to alien commanders. They fought as individuals and as teams at the same time. The ethereal collective tried to coordinate their forces, but the humans kept changing their strategy. Every time the aliens thought they understood the human plan, the humans did something different. Captain Yunji led a squadron of cargo ships in a desperate gambit. The ships weren't warships, but they were carrying something dangerous, mining explosives. "All ships, follow my lead. We're going to ram the alien formation." "Captain, that's suicide," one of her pilots protested. "Maybe, but we'll take a lot of them with us." The cargo ships accelerated toward a group of alien destroyers. At the last second, they released their explosives and peeled away. The aliens tried to shoot down the explosives, but there were too many. The explosions tore through the alien formation. 7 ships were destroyed, and many more were damaged. Commander Boram was still listening to alien communications. What she heard made her understand how the battle was going. "Admiral, we have lost 30% of our fleet." "That's impossible. Our intelligence said they had minimal defenses." "The humans are not fighting according to any known tactics. They attack without regard for their own safety. They coordinate without central command. They use civilian ships as weapons platforms. How many humans have we killed?" "Estimate, 10% casualties on their side." There was silence on the alien channel. The Council had expected to destroy 90% of the human fleet in the first hour. Instead, they had lost 3 ships for every human vessel destroyed. "Admiral," Ka-Young realized what was happening. "All ships, press the attack. They're breaking." The human fleet surged forward. Damaged ships fought alongside healthy ones. Civilian vessels supported military units. Pirates worked with police. Everyone fought together against the common enemy. The aliens began to retreat to longer range. They had superior numbers, but the humans were fighting with a fury they had never seen before. On the Council flagship, Admiral Kethmore was trying to understand what had gone wrong. "How is this possible?" he demanded. "They are just one species. They should be terrified. They should surrender." His tactical officer looked at the battle reports with confusion. "Sir, I think we may have misunderstood these humans. They don't fight like other species." "What do you mean?" "Other species fight to avoid losing. Humans seem to fight to win no matter the cost." As the first day of battle ended, the score was clear. The Galactic Council had lost over 3,000 ships. The human fleet had lost about 300. But more importantly, something else had changed. The aliens had come expecting easy victory over a primitive species. Instead, they found themselves fighting for their lives against an enemy they didn't understand. In the communication channels, human voices could be heard across the fleet. They wanted a fight. Now they've got one. "This is for Earth. Nobody threatens our home." The battle was far from over, but one thing was already clear. The Galactic Council had made a terrible mistake. They had awakened humanity's fury, and humanity intended to show them exactly what that meant. 3 weeks into the war, the Galactic Council was learning a hard lesson. Humans didn't just defend, they adapted. Admiral Ki-Young stood in the rebuilt command center of Seoul's Pride. The ship had been damaged in 7 battles, but his crew kept fixing it and fighting. Around him, officers worked at stations made from parts taken from alien wrecks. "Status report," he said. Commander Jiwoo looked up from her screen. "We've identified weak points in Nexari ship designs. Dr. Young-soo says he can build weapons specifically to exploit them." "How long?" 6 hours for the prototype. If it works, we can outfit the entire fleet in 2 days. Ki-Young nodded. This was how the war had gone. Every battle taught humans something new about their enemies. Every lesson became a new weapon, on D. Mars Captain Yunji was training pilots in tactics that didn't exist 3 weeks ago. Her classroom was a damaged hangar, but her students were learning to fight in ways that confused alien commanders. Listen carefully, she told the young pilots. The Vorthak expect us to attack their strongest ships, so we ignore the big ones, and destroy their supply vessels. Without fuel and ammunition, their dreadnoughts become floating targets. One pilot raised her hand. What about the ethereal collective ships? They coordinate through quantum links. Disrupt the link, and they can't work together. Technical Sergeant Wu Jin figured out how to do it using modified farm tractors. The pilots laughed, but they knew she was serious. In this war, anything could become a weapon. Across the solar system, humans were turning everything into tools of war. Mining equipment became artillery, cargo ships became missile platforms. Even hospital ships carried weapons hidden beneath their medical supplies. Engineer So Young had lost her family when Council forces bombed civilian shelters on Europa. Now she worked 18 hours a day, building weapons that shouldn't exist. The terraforming equipment is ready, she told Admiral Ki Young over the communication link. You mean the planet crackers? That's what they'll be when I'm done with them. These machines can change the atmosphere of an entire world. With some modifications, they can destroy space stations and orbital platforms. How many do we have? 12 functional units, enough to clear out any Council stronghold. Ki Young smiled grimly. The aliens had taught humans to think bigger, to fight harder. Every day, human technology leaped forward by years. The Council was getting desperate. They called in reinforcements from across the galaxy. Species that had never worked together were forced to fight side by side. Commander Bo-Ram intercepted their communications from her hiding spot in the asteroid belt. Our losses are unacceptable, an alien voice said. We have lost 60% of our original fleet. The humans have lost only 20%, another voice replied. How is this possible? They learn from every engagement. They modify their tactics constantly. They use weapons we didn't know existed. What about our new allies? The Zephyrian fleet arrives tomorrow. The Molten Core Armada will be here in 3 days. We will have 15,000 ships. Bo-Ram sent the information to Ki Young immediately. 15,000 ships. Even for humans, those were terrible odds. But Ki Young wasn't worried. He had a plan. All unit commanders, report to the flagship. We're going to try something new. When the commanders gathered, Ki Young showed them a holographic map of the solar system. Red dots marked alien positions. Blue dots showed human forces. The aliens expect us to defend Earth, he said. So we're going to attack their home bases instead. Colonel Minho looked confused. Sir, we don't have enough ships for offensive operations. We don't need ships. We have something better. Ki Young smiled. We have angry humans. The plan was simple and insane. While most of the human fleet kept the Council forces busy around Earth, small groups would use captured alien technology to strike at Council worlds. Captain Dong Ho would lead the first raid. His target was a major Council supply depot near the Galactic core. Are you sure about this? Dong Ho asked. It's a one-way trip unless we can steal alien ships. That's the plan, Ki Young said. Go in fast, hit them hard, steal everything. You can and keep fighting. Dong Ho grinned. Just like old times. Medic Hyo Jin was treating wounded soldiers in a hospital ship when the next Council attack began. The aliens had started targeting medical facilities, breaking their own laws of war. Incoming missiles, someone shouted. Hyo Jin didn't run. She kept working on a wounded pilot while explosions shook the ship. If they want to fight dirty, we'll show them what dirty fighting looks like. When the attack ended, she sent a message to Admiral Ki Young. Sir, request permission to arm the hospital ships. Denied. Medical ships must remain neutral. Then I quit my medical commission. Effective immediately. This is the warship Mercy's Revenge. Ki Young laughed despite everything. Permission granted. Try not to hurt anyone who doesn't deserve it. The war was changing both sides. The aliens became more desperate and vicious. The humans became more creative and dangerous. Dr. Young-Soo made breakthrough after breakthrough. Human technology advanced faster than anyone thought possible. Weapons that should have taken years to develop were built in days. "I've cracked their shield technology," he reported, "and they're faster than light drives and their energy weapons. Can we use it?" "Better. I can improve it. Human engineering plus alien technology equals very bad news for our enemies." Intelligence Officer Su Jin was analyzing captured alien data when she made a disturbing discovery. "Admiral, you need to see this." The hologram showed alien intelligence. "Reports about humanity. They've been watching us for 50 years, Su Jin said. "This war wasn't about protecting the galaxy. It was about destroying us before we became too powerful." "What do you mean?" "Look at these projections. They calculated that in another 100 years humans would be the dominant species in the galaxy. This attack was meant to prevent that." Ki Young studied the data. "So they're not just trying to conquer us. They're trying to commit genocide." "Yes, sir. Complete extinction of the human species." That changed everything. Ki Young sent the information to every human ship, every colony, every outpost. The reaction was immediate and furious. "Captain," Yunji's message was typical. "They want to exterminate us? Fine. Let's show them what extinction looks like." The human war effort became even more intense. Civilians volunteered for suicide missions. Scientists worked until they collapsed from exhaustion. Soldiers fought with a fury that terrified alien prisoners. Commander Boram led the first raid on a Council homeworld. Her small fleet used stealth technology to approach the Nixari capital system. "Remember," she told her crews, "we're not here to conquer. We're here to send a message." The attack lasted 6 hours. When it was over, the Nixari's primary orbital shipyards were debris. Their planetary defense grid was destroyed. Their capital city was in ruins. But Boram's fleet had left something behind, a message broadcast on all frequencies. "This is Commander Boram of the human fleet. You threatened our children. You tried to destroy our species. Now you know what it feels like to be afraid. This is just the beginning." Similar raids hit Council worlds across the galaxy. Human forces struck where they were least expected, using tactics that alien commanders couldn't predict. The psychological effect was devastating. Council species began arguing among themselves. Some wanted to negotiate, others wanted to fight. To the end, Admiral Kai Young received a communication from the Council 3 months into the war. We wish to discuss terms," the alien voice said. "Terms?" Kai Young replied. "You mean surrender?" "We mean a negotiated settlement." Kai Young's response was broadcast across the galaxy. Every human heard it. Every alien heard it too. "You came to our home to commit genocide. You tried to exterminate our species. There are no terms. There is no negotiation. There is only your complete and unconditional surrender." The war continued, but everyone knew how it would end. The species that came to destroy humanity was being systematically dismantled by the very people they had tried to kill. The galaxy was learning a lesson it would never forget. Threatening humanity's survival was the worst mistake anyone could make. Because humans didn't just fight back. They evolved. They adapted. They became something stronger and more dangerous than before. And they never, ever forgot who their enemies were. 6 months after the war began, Admiral Ki Young stood on the bridge of his flagship, watching the final battle for Nexus Prime. The massive space station had been the military headquarters of the Galactic Council for 1,000 years. Today, it would fall to human forces. "All ships, this is Admiral Ki Young. Begin the final assault." The human fleet that attacked Nexus Prime was nothing like the desperate defenders who had protected Earth. These ships were built from a combination of human engineering and captured alien technology. They were faster, stronger, and deadlier than anything the galaxy had ever seen. Captain Dong Ho commanded the lead assault ship. His vessel was a patchwork of human and alien parts, held together by determination and engineering genius. "Target their command center. Let's end this." The station's defenses opened fire, but the human ships moved like nothing the defenders had seen before. They attacked from multiple directions at once, coordinated by commanders who had learned to think like their enemies. Engineer So Young had built special weapons for this battle. Her planet cracker technology had been mounted on ships, creating weapons that could destroy space stations with a single shot. Firing the atmospheric disruptor, she announced. The beam struck Nexus Prime's shields. Instead of trying to overwhelm them with brute force, So Young's weapon changed the molecular structure of the shield generators themselves. The massive defensive barriers simply disappeared. Colonel Minho led the boarding parties. His soldiers, wore armor built from alien technology, carried weapons that didn't exist 6 months ago, and fought with the fury of people who had seen their homes attacked. "Secure the command center," he ordered. "Take prisoners if they surrender. If they don't," he didn't need to finish. The battle for Nexus Prime lasted 4 hours. When it ended, the symbol of Council power was in human hands. Admiral Kethmore, the alien commander who had threatened Earth, was brought before Ki Young in chains. "You cannot do this," the crystal being said. "There are laws, protocols. The Council has ruled the galaxy for—" "The Council is finished," Ki Young interrupted. "You started a war you couldn't win against people you didn't understand." Individual Council species had already begun seeking separate peace deals. The Vorthak Empire sued for peace after humans destroyed their primary crystal farms. The Nexari Hive offered tribute when human raiders captured their queen ships. The ethereal collective simply dispersed, their unified consciousness shattered by fear. Ambassador Tae-Wan arrived at Nexus Prime to negotiate the final terms. He had changed during the war. The diplomat who once sought peaceful solutions now represented a species that had earned respect through strength. The remaining council representatives gathered in what had once been their supreme chamber. Now human soldiers stood guard, and the Earth flag hung where the council banner had been. "These are our terms," Tae-Wan announced. "Complete and immediate withdrawal from all human territory. Reparations for war damages and casualties. Recognition of human sovereignty over all territory we now control." The alien delegates looked at each other desperately. The Vorthak representative spoke first. What territory do you control?" Tae-Win activated a holographic map of the galaxy. Nearly a quarter of it was colored blue, marking human-controlled space. "All of this," he said simply. The aliens were shocked. In 6 months, humanity had gone from defending one world to controlling hundreds of star systems. "This is impossible," the Nexari delegate buzzed. "You cannot have conquered so much so quickly." General Hae-Won, who now commanded human ground forces across dozens of worlds, smiled coldly. "We didn't conquer them. They asked for our protection." It was true. As the council fell apart, individual species had begged humanity for protection from their former allies. Pirates, raiders, and various warlords had tried to fill the power vacuum. Human forces had stepped in to maintain order. Dr. Young-Soo had set up research stations on captured worlds. His teams were reverse engineering every piece of alien technology they could find. "We're learning faster than ever," he reported to Ka Young. "Every species we've encountered has contributed something useful, such as Vorthak crystal technology for better computers, Nexari bioengineering for medical advances, ethereal quantum manipulation for new weapons. We're not just defeating them, we're absorbing their knowledge." Captain Yunji had become the head of the new Human Space Academy. Her job was training the next generation of pilots and commanders. "We're teaching them everything we learned during the war," she told visiting reporters. "How to adapt quickly, how to use any tool as a weapon, how to fight as individuals and as a team." Commander Boram now ran the Human Intelligence Division. Her spy network covered half the galaxy. "We monitor everyone," she explained. "Not because we want to control them, but because we'll never again be caught off guard." The formal surrender ceremony took place on Earth. Representatives from every former council species came to acknowledge humanity's victory. Tae-Wan stood before the assembled aliens in the same room where the war had begun. "6 months ago, you came here with an ultimatum. You told us to surrender or die. Today, you're here to accept our terms." The alien delegates signed the surrender documents one by one. Each signature acknowledged human control over their territories, human authority over their military forces, and human right to demand anything deemed necessary for galactic security. But the ceremony was interrupted by an unexpected arrival. "Admiral," Commander Jiwoo reported, "we have incoming ships. Unknown configuration." New alien vessels appeared at the edge of the solar system. They were larger than Council ships, and their energy signatures were completely different. The lead ship sent a message. "Greetings, humans. We are the Stellar Alliance representatives of the Galactic Outer Rim. We come seeking dialogue." Ki-young and Tae-wan exchanged glances. Apparently, the war with the Council had attracted attention from even more distant parts of the galaxy. "Put them through," Ki-young said. The hologram showed aliens unlike any they had seen before. They were tall, elegant, and carried themselves with confidence. "We have heard of your accomplishments," the alien ambassador said. "The defeat of the Galactic Council has created a power vacuum. We wish to discuss the new balance of galactic power." Tae-wan stepped forward. "What exactly are you proposing?" "Alliance. Mutual benefit. We offer trade, technology, and friendship to the new dominant species." Ki-young laughed. "Dominant species? We're not trying to rule the galaxy." "Perhaps not," the alien said, "but you control a quarter of it. Your military has proven superior to anything we've seen. Your technology advances faster than any other species. Whether you intended it or not, you are now a galactic power." Over the following weeks, delegations arrived from across the galaxy. Some came seeking alliances. Others offered tribute. A few tried to test human resolve and quickly learned better. The universe was adapting to a new reality. Humanity was no longer a small species confined to one solar system. They were a major power that had earned their place through strength, intelligence, and absolute determination. Engineer So-young was put in charge of sharing technology with allied species. "We'll help those who help us," she announced, "but the most advanced technology stays with humanity." Admiral Ki-young established the new human defense fleet. Its mission was simple: protect human space and ensure that no one ever again threatened Earth. 6 months after receiving an ultimatum to surrender, humanity had become the most feared and respected species in the galaxy. Ambassador Tae-wan's final speech to the former council, delegates became famous across human space. "You came to our home thinking you could destroy us. You saw us as weak, divided, and primitive. You were wrong. About everything, we are not weak, we are adaptive. We are not divided, we unite when threatened. We are not primitive, we learn faster than you can imagine." He paused, looking at each alien representative. "But most importantly, you made one fatal error. You thought threatening our home would break us. Instead, it revealed what we truly are: a species that will never accept defeat, never stop fighting, and never forgive those who threaten our children." The war was over. Humanity had won completely. But across the galaxy, other species watched and learned their own lesson. Humans were not to be threatened, challenged, or underestimated. Ever. The age of human dominance had begun, and it had started, with 2 simple words that echoed across the stars. Come and take it. The galaxy would never be the same.